Hi guys, I'm Ryan Houston and welcome to my fly tying channel. Your video is about to start shortly. Please take this opportunity to hit the like button down below, leave some comments, tell your friends. Interaction, likes, subscriptions help my channel to grow and help me to keep producing content for yourselves. If you're new to my channel, check out the other videos that I've got. There are over 500 videos at this stage, so there should be something there for everybody. Again, video is about to start. Hit that like button down below. Hi guys, welcome back. So tonight we're going to tie a salmon fly. This one is like a scaled down version of the Jorra or Jorra Gold. So this is a size 12 Patriot in a black nickel. And we're going to start the tying of this with a white thread. I can find it. So this is a gel spun, and the reason for using the white thread here is because I have like a pearlescent rear section to the body that I want to see through it, and the white tends to enhance the colour of whatever you're putting on, whereas if you put a dark on like a black thread, then it'll darken that up, or if you put on I suppose like a yellow or an orange underneath that, then that'll give it that sort of tone to it. So I'm going to get a bit of, this is like a gold wire. It's like an old gold type colour, and we're going to do the tag or tip, whatever you want to call it, with that. So I'm going to go backwards for 3 or 4 turns, then go between the legs and pull up and over, lock it in place, and that gives us the tag. I'm going to go beyond the halfway point because the front part of this body is going to be dubbed, and I'm going to take this back through and underneath and wrap back to meet the tag that I created. So the reason that the step or turn is up here in the dubbed section is so that it is hidden, whereas if you tried to do that here underneath the bit that's going to be like a flat tinsel body, then you would see that. So for a tail, I'm going to use this fluo fibre. This is a hot yellow type colour. So take a small bunch of that, half of what I want the tail to be, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie that on, again take it up past where I'm going to start the dub body, fold it back, hold the two sections together and wrap tight up to the tag, and then go forward. So I've created like a little smooth underbody with my tying thread. So this is my tail. So up to yourself, you can just go in and cut it off straight. You can go in and cut across the top of it, or you can come in from underneath it. You need to sort of hold it up at an angle, and then you cut underneath that, and it'll give you sort of like a tapered tail. It's a small fly, so it doesn't take much of a tail, but there'll be slightly more fibres at the base, then some slightly longer ones, then some slightly longer ones again, and that'll give you like a synthetic effect of a golden pheasant topping. If you want, just use a golden pheasant topping. So rear part of the body, what I'm going to use is like a yellowy, pinky, like an orange, I suppose, coloured Mirage crystal hair. The bigger flies tend to use like a saffron braid. So I've doubled that across its middle, and I'll wrap it backwards until I hit the tag, and then come forwards, and that will do the rear section of my fly. I'll tie that in, hold it back, and then tie back to around the midway point there. So front half of this fly we're going to dub, so we're going to use a synthetic dubbing for this. You could use gold. I think by rights you'd probably use tan glister or something along the lines of that. So you can use tan glister, but in the smaller flies here I'm going to use a Hens, and I'm using Hens number 35, which is this sort of a tanny gold colour. So a little bit of that, twist it on a wrap just to catch a few fibres, and that'll allow us to twist this dubbing rope up much tighter. Then wrap a little front body section with that. A bigger fly I would palmer this, but in this, because it's only a size 12, I'm not going to, so I'm going to actually start the ribbon now. So because a small fly, 4 or so turns will probably take you the length of the body. Wrap over that, turn the wire to be up the center of the shank, bind that down. The gel spun thread here allows you to get a good bit of tension on that, so hold that in place, and then I'm just going to wiggle it back and forward until it snaps, and then I'm going to do 2 half hitches and finish that off. So that's the body tied. So I'm going to swap over now to a black tying thread. So a thinner black tying thread. This one is a Danville's 60 black. Get it started, snap it off. Right, so I'm going to put the wing on in 2 parts here, and for the first part I'm going to use a golden dyed bit of a possum as an underwing. So this sort of colour here. Take a little bunch of that. I'm going to get out the very short stuff, don't need that. And then measure this up for length. So I'm going to take that out to about the tail length. So I'm going to just transfer hands and cut that off. So I'm now holding it in position. Get it in there. Get a wrap to hold it down. And then I'm going to use like a dubbing needle and take a bit of super glue and just run the glue on 2 centimeters, say, of our tying thread. Hold, straighten the wing up and wrap over the tie-in of that, or the cut ends, and that'll seep into it and set that in place. Now if you want, you could put some sort of flash, some angel hair or whatever into this wing. I'm not going to, because we already have the body with it, and because it's a small fly, so it's intended for fishing in lower water conditions. As I said, if you're fishing a bigger fly, scale it up. So I'm going to put a hackle on at this stage. So this is a badger hackle that I've dyed in like a, I suppose it's a golden colour. So it's like a ginger with a light little bit of fiery brown in it, and it just gives a nice sort of glow colour. So I'll take one of these hackles and I'm going to double it. So I have videos on doubling technique which go into this in much more detail, so check that out if you've never done it. So I double the hackle over and then tie it in by its tip and flip it back, and then we're going to wrap that hackle. So as I wrap it, I'm just sort of twisting the stalk, using my fingers to lay it flat because I don't want it to be sticking straight out 90 degrees. I want a little bit of shape to it. And I do want the base of the hackle to be wrapped there because it's slightly more webby and just helps us with the front end shape of the hackle. Once it's on, I'll just squeeze it back into position. And so you could even, like I said, if you wanted a very reduced fly, you could go with what you have there. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to put a little bit of a top wing onto that. So for that I'm going to use a little bit of like a fiery brown fox. You can use temple dog, or you can use tanuki or whatever fur you want. Tend to probably use the fox for slightly smaller flies. So take a little bunch of that, trying to keep some of the shape of that. So I'm going to measure it slightly longer than the underwing, and I'll trim that off, set that in position. Get a wrap onto the top of it, and then going to do what we did before and get some of our super glue. Coat the thread in that. And bind that down. So as you see, we have that sort of humped wing shape. So to finish this, what we need is a little bit of peacock. So for this, what I'm going to use is the tip of an eye feather, because these tend to be very fine. Whereas the bigger fibers from further down the feather would be too ignorant, shall we say. Tie a couple of strands of that in on the top, and then we want to put on some very small jungle cock eyes to finish this off. So we're looking for the feathers that are right at the base of the cape, the little tiny eyes. Put that in position, take another one, strip off the fluff, hold it with a finger, wrap across it. Trim the bases, and then it's time to finish the head. So for the head finishing, I'm going to again coat the thread in glue. Maybe a little bit more this time, 5 or 6 centimeters maybe. Hold all back, start at the front, and wrap backwards until you just hit the jungle cock eyes, and then finish. So to finish that fly, then we need to let that dry and then go with a coat of either clear or black varnish. So, but that is our Jorra Gold was reduced variant on a little size 12 double. We have another one here as well. So pair of flies. So hopefully you liked the video. If you did, give us a like, subscribe, check out all the other videos in the channel and tell your friends, and until next time, take lines. Thanks for watching.